Oh no! What? The blue badger? What does that have to do with anything? The thing that was dancing in the evidence room? Apparently the head of criminal affairs used this for his blueprint. Oh, what? I guess he was out of scrap paper. Oh. Yeah, it's definitely been updated. Very well, witness. Will you please testify about this picture you drew 2 years ago? Oh, I thought there was like it was another picture that Emma drew. But I think they were just saying that, like, the chief, that some other person drew it, and it was like their blueprint for the blue badger. I don't know. She seemed to be thinking about something when she saw the picture. That's weird. Okay, this is the picture I drew 2 years ago. Yes, it is. The flash of lightning was so bright, all I could see were the shadows. After that, I must have fainted. Just like a Pokemon. This picture shows exactly what I saw that instant. To think a flash of lightning could burn such an image in your mind. Thanks to that, though, she was able to show us exactly what she saw. Well, I don't see any contradictions here. This clearly shows Joe Dark about to murder Professor Neil Marshall. The defense may now begin its cross-examination. Okay, so far so good, but we gotta find a way to connect this to the present time, because otherwise they're going to come up at the last second and say, well, you know, this doesn't prove that Ema Skye didn't kill Bruce Goodman or any of that. This is the picture I drew 2 years ago. Did you draw this picture right after the incident? I think I drew it 2 or 3 days later. At first I was in such a state of shock I couldn't do anything. During that time, the detective team was reorganized. Detective Goodman was placed in charge, under the direction of Damon Gant and Ema Skye. 2 or 3 days later. The memory should still have been fresh in your mind, yeah? Sounds about right. But can you please tell us why this picture is painted all black? Well, because all she could see was like silhouettes, like when lightning strikes, that's what it looks like. The flash of lightning was so bright, all I could see were shadows. Yeah, exactly. After that, I must have fainted. I forgot to press that second one. You mean you didn't see the actual murder take place? No, I'm sorry. The flash of lightning only drove off the darkness for a split second. Not only that, but the trauma of the situation understandably caused the witness to faint. Do you really need to torture this girl any further? What? Hey, I'm not the bad guy here. Dude, we were going back and forth this scene. I'm not the bad guy. Oh. Let me go back for a second. Here, let me get this one. So at the time you didn't even know it was Mr. Marshall who would come to your rescue. Well, yeah, he came in before the lights went out, right? Oh, he couldn't? Well, she was knocked off to the side, she said. Okay, well, so that's... Well, that's kind of strange, because now... now she's saying, like... I mean, now it seems reasonable to assume that it's possible it wasn't Neil Marshall that came into the room. Because when they show the picture, it almost... I mean, they call me crazy, but it almost kind of looks like her sister. But that couldn't be... Anyway, just do this. Sorry for asking so many times, but are you sure you drew exactly what you saw? Of course, this is the exact scene. It wasn't influenced in any way from your talks with the detectives. Are you insinuating we somehow manipulated her memory, Mr. Wright? Hey man, have you ever seen Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind? Wouldn't be the first time. Or would it? Better watch out or you might find some way to cut my salary. I drew this picture before I heard anything from the detectives, so I don't think anyone's story would have influenced me. Mr. Wright, is there something that's bothering you about this picture? Huh? Well... That's strange. She claims this is exactly the scene that was imprinted in her mind. And yet... there's clearly a contradiction here. Okay, which one of these should I be? This picture shows exactly what I saw that instant. Do I need to present something, or... Oh, no, don't do that. Here. I realized that was the end of it. It was going to push it into the... Okay. Obviously, we need to present something. I don't see what the jar would have to do with it. Strip of cloth. I'm trying to... There must be something that... What do we know right now? What if we established that we thought... Because, like, earlier I did that thing where I forgot that it wasn't Goodman, you know? And I couldn't figure out where Jake was and or where, yeah, where Jake was supposed to be in the room. Can I get them to show, like, these two drawings together side by side? Because at first I thought they were trying to make it sound like she drew both drawings. And I'd really like to see if they would... no it doesn't. They aren't, are they? Oops. Not at all, sir. Please think the facts over before making a... Sorry. I was a little hasty on that one. The picture shows exactly what I saw in that instant. Dun, 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 dun. Let me check this. Could it be something here? Wait a second. He is wearing a cowboy hat here, and he's not in her drawing. Is that what it is? I'm gonna try it. Your Honor, what do you think about the witness's statement? I'm not sure I followed. Oh no! It's not this either. Shit. Oh man, it was only a matter of time before I started screwing up on this. Okay, we need to stop for a second. This picture shows exactly what I saw that instant. But why wouldn't it? I mean, why do we want to prove her wrong? We don't want to prove him. We don't want to tell Emma that she's lying. But if there was anything that was inconsistent about it, is it because he's holding like a what appears to be a ruler instead of a knife? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Is that it? Because which knife did he actually stab him with, first of all? He stabbed her with the SL9 knife, but at that point it wasn't broken. I don't think the fact that it looks like a ruler is just a thing. It's not important, I'm pretty sure. Broken tip was found in the victim's body, belonged to murderer Joe Dark. Switchblade knife. Holy crap! Is that what it is? Because when you use a switchblade, and they bring this up in 12 Angry Men too. You know, a switchblade, basically, you push the button, it pops out, and you, like, stab forward with it. You don't raise it over your head, because you waste too much time switching hands. That's not how you stab with a switchblade. But if that wasn't the knife, then what does that mean? That's gonna raise up all sorts of questions. I'm gonna try this. Sorry, but I can see nothing faulty. Unfortunately, I'll have to penisize you, Mr. Wright. Oh, I must be on the wrong track. Yeah, you are indeed. Oh, man. How many more times can I screw this up? What did the autopsy report say? Stabbed in the back. He died from punctured heart and lung. Stabbed in the back. Well... yeah, he could have been stabbing him in the back there. But... I don't know. Let me look at it again. Did it say punctured like the heart and the lung? So it wasn't like right up at the top of the back. It was like right in the middle. I guess that could be... yeah. Okay, here we go. You know you got it right because the music stops. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but this picture the witness drew contains a blatant contradiction. What? But I still remember it like it was yesterday. Yeah. Oh, geez, what part of the picture? It's the angle at which he's holding the knife, but how do you... If I was the guy on the ground, I would have, like, moved my right foot forward and knocked him off of his right foot. I don't know if that would have worked. It's weird how you think about things like that. Well, it's not so much the angle of his body. Well, it is kind of, but at the same time, the angle of the knife, too. I wonder if I'm not supposed to be pointing out the knife. Because, I mean, even a 14-year-old knows how to draw a knife, and that's kind of not it, but... at the same time, I mean, this is not a hand, so by the same logic. It has to be the knife. The contradiction, of course, lies here. Take a look at the knife the man is holding. If you look closely, you can see its tip is broken. That was it. In fact, you don't even have to look closely to see that. But Mr. Wright, look at the evidence. See the murder weapon? Its tip is broken too. Yeah, but it wasn't broken when he made the stab wound. The tip broke off inside of... if I recall, the tip of the knife was found broken off in the victim's body. Yeah, it was. I'm afraid it's not so simple, Ema. Oh, no. Where could you possibly see a problem? It's obvious, really. The victim suffered a single stab wound to the back. If the victim was only stabbed once, then the murder weapon should not yet be broken. Oh my god, you really had to explain that? Jeez. Perhaps the knife was broken beforehand. Sorry, but I'm afraid that's not possible, sir. The tip of the knife was found inside the victim's body. So what you got to say about that? That's right. But what does this mean? Absolutely nothing. The tip of the knife was undeniably discovered within the victim's body. The only possible explanation is that the witness's memory is mistaken. Don't. That's why I asked her so many times if she was sure she remembered correctly. I believe you were annoyed at the time. But she was sure she remembered correctly. But there's no other way to explain this inconsistency. Not so fast, Mr. Edgeworth. There is another explanation. Is there? Have you forgotten already? About a little something called falsified evidence? You're treading on thin ice, Wright. Let go of my arm, Leo! All I'm saying is that this broken knife might be the piece of evidence that was forged. You can't deny the possibility. No, but... oh, jeez. But why go to all that trouble to forge a broken off tip of a knife? I mean, if it was there, it was there. Like, what would be the point of making a fake one? I don't know. Something about that is not connecting in my mind right for some reason. Yes, okay, let's. The police department and the prosecutor's office were holding a ceremony that day. So everybody was gone. Well, no, everybody wasn't gone because they took this picture right here in the office. But this was afterwards, okay? Yep, after receiving the King of Prosecutors Award at the ceremony, Neil Marshall questioned Joe Dark along with Damon Gant. During his questioning, Joe Dark fled the room. And in this picture, his knife has a tip on it. However, I'm sure this is just a narrative picture, not a photograph to actually look at. Prosecutor Marshall chased after him and was killed by Dark. It is my belief that somewhere in this story there is a lie. I'm not lying. The man really was holding up a broken knife. If that's true, then there's no other way around it. This could not have been the actual murder weapon. What? There must have been another broken knife. Really? What are the chances of there being two broken knives? Oh my god, really? Another broken knife besides Joe Dark's? Could there have been one? I don't want to say Emma's mistaken. I don't think she is. They wouldn't do that in a game like this, you know, because they just wouldn't do that. There's another one. Even though I have no idea what I'm doing here. If the witness is this adamant about the accuracy of what she saw, it can't just be explained away by a simple observational error. In that instant, Emma really did see a broken knife. I assume, then, that you have some information about this other broken knife. If so, please feel free to enlighten us. The murder weapon was already broken prior to the murder. There's only one way. Take a look at this. Here's the real murder weapon. The real murder weapon. Okay, and this was the SL9 murder that we're talking about, so it's not like... Haha. Wait a minute. Is that going to turn out to really be Holy crap. I said before that the sword was broken. And then they made this big deal out of how the sword wasn't there when they gave it to Edgeworth. That's gotta be it. That's gotta be it. The answer lies in the past. 2 years in the past. Right here inside this picture. What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? It's the broken murder weapon. Notice the award Prosecutor Marshall is holding. That's a broken knife. As we earlier concluded, the knife in the picture was not Joe Dark's knife. That being the case, the knife the witness saw was in all likelihood this award. Oh man. Order! Neil Marshall was awarded King of Prosecutors that day. As an award, he was given this broken shield and a broken knife. When he chased after Joe Dark, he pulled out this knife. Being a prosecutor, he did not carry a pistol. This broken knife was the only weapon he had in the dangerous situation. But that can't be. Oh, and why not, Mr. Edgeworth? Because if the King of Prosecutors Award knife was the murder weapon, then the murderer and the victim would be reversed. What do you mean? Wait a second. Is that even possible? Well, Joe Dark was put to death afterwards, right? Which means he survived this. Which means Neil Marshall didn't stab him. The man raising a knife would have been the prosecutor, Neil Marshall. Oh, man. But the prosecutor was the one who actually died. Or did he? It seems Mr. Wright has been a bit too eager to jump to conclusions. Alright, who's in here now? I remember now, I remember everything. Mr. Edgeworth. What is it? Could you show me your evidence list again, please? His list? The one with that picture scribbled on the back? That one. I knew it. This picture, I'm the one who drew it. You drew that? That's right. My list wasn't torn in half at the time I drew this picture. So they do go together. All this time I've been trying so hard to forget. I must have locked this part away deep inside me. Perhaps it would be best if we added this to the witness's testimony. Would you please tell us what you recall, Mrs. Skye? Yes, Your Honor. Oh, boy. No kidding. What the heck? How's this? Is this like some kind of Batman thing? Where a light was shining and the Blue Badger was blocking it? When I saw that man raise his knife, I panicked and rushed toward both of them. I think I knocked away the man with the knife. Just then there was another flash of lightning, and that's when I saw the Blue Badger. He wasn't in the room, but I'm sure I saw his shadow. My God. I thought we were through with the Blue Badger when we did the whole evidence room thing, and I remember them showing him at the beginning. I thought they were showing him in the evidence room at the beginning, but... Huh. Try impossible. The head detective of criminal affairs didn't even design him until this year. That would mean he didn't even exist 2 years ago. Yes, well, the defense may now be... Oh boy. Stop, please. Don't pursue this any further.